So let's go into the first fight, which is obviously King Green, Bobby Green versus Mauricio Ruffi from the Fighting Nerds. Hang on, let me just put my glasses on. This is no way mean that I think Rufio is going to win. I just think it's appropriate to do this. How do I look in my Fighting Nerds glasses? Anyway, Rufio. According to Caio Borralho, Rufio is one of the best fighters in the UFC. Obviously, you've not seen him much yet. He's obviously only had 2 fights in the UFC for now, but he's a 2-0. No losses at all at the UFC yet. And is Saturday night going to be his first loss? Honestly, I think so. I think in this fight, Bobby Green versus Mauricio Ruffi, I think Bobby Green is going to have an upset win by a late round KO or a unanimous decision or a split decision. Of course, it could be a tight match, but I'm thinking I'm going to go with the underdog here. Not wanting to bet against the Fighting Nerds, of course, but I'm going to be honest with you. I just think Bobby Green might be that more unorthodox fighting style that puts off Ruffi and might end up beating him, actually. So I'm not sure, but I'm going to go with Bobby Green via KO in the late rounds or by decision against Ruffi from the Fighting Nerds. Sorry, Ruffi. Sorry, the Fighting Nerds. Love you guys. I'm a fan. But if I were to give my honest opinion on this fight, I think Bobby Green might get the win. So why not? Next up, we have Amanda Lemos versus Yasim Lucindo. Lucindo being the younger of the two. Lucindo's got great potential. I love this fighter. She's amazing. Amanda Lemos, a legend as well. Let me have a look at how old they are. Hang on. Yeah, there's a huge age difference, guys. Obviously, Amanda Lemos, she's 37 years old, and Lucindo is only 23 years old, guys. So is she going to make some rookie mistakes in this fight? Is Amanda Lemos gonna take advantage of those rookie mistakes, or is Lucindo just gonna be too overpowering for Lemos and get away with a submission or a decision? I think personally that Lemos is gonna lose this fight. I think Lucindo was gonna win this fight hands down. Not because she's younger. That doesn't mean anything to me. Age is just a number, as we saw with Jared Cannonier a few weeks ago. So that's got nothing to do with it. But I think honestly that Lemos has not got what it takes to win against Lucindo at this stage in her career. And experience-wise, Lucindo has more pro fights than Lemos, even though Lemos is much older than her. So I'm going to go with Lucindo via late round ground and pound or submission or decision. Next up, we have Jalen Turner versus Bahamondes. For me, Bahamondes is just, at the moment anyway, levels above Jalen Turner. Obviously, Jalen Turner coming off a loss. Bahamondes is on a tear right now. He's got a 2 or 3 fight win streak, and he's great on the ground. He gets some submission wins in there. He's recently been KOing a lot of his opponents, and I think that this tear will not stop with Jalen Turner. I think Jalen Turner, even though he's going to turn up obviously with a bit of anger from his last loss, I don't think that's going to be enough to beat Bahamondes. Honestly, I think Bahamondes is going to win, and I think he's going to get a KO in the first or second round. So that's my prediction. Let me know what you guys think of my predictions. Obviously, if you guys don't agree with me, please let me know. I love hearing your opinions on that. Moving on to the co-main event, the edited, modified, in jeopardy, jeopardy co-main event between Justin Gaethje, the highlight, versus Rafael Fiziev, who came in on short notice only a week and a half ago because our man Dan Hooker injured his hand. He just had surgery. He should be back in a few months. He's talking about fighting in July or August, so I'm happy to hear that Dan's doing well. But obviously it's very sad to have that change because we were very excited for that Justin Gaethje Dan Hooker fight. That was going to be war, and as they said a couple of weeks back, they weren't looking for a decision, so obviously they were going to try and kill each other. And Dan Hooker said whatever the outcome would have been for this fight, we would have both ended up in the hospital, that's for sure. So such a shame that didn't happen. It could still happen one day, who knows. Obviously, Justin Gaethje's at the end of his career at 36 years old. With Fiziev being at 32, he's got maybe that speed and that agility that Justin Gaethje might have lost over the years. And he's coming off, obviously, the insane KO loss to Max Holloway in the last second of the last round of their fight at UFC 300. And it was the most insane moment for us fight fans. And it's still talked about, obviously, today. It'll be talked about for the next through years, I think. The next 10, 15, 20 years, I think. But for Justin Gaethje, from his point of view, he lost that fight in the most insane fashion possible, and we haven't seen him in almost a year since UFC 300. So every fan is obviously excited to see the highlight come back. He's got an amazing, exciting fighting style. He knows that he's got a fighting style that is very exciting. The fans love watching him fight, and he loves pleasing the fans. He's always talking about the fans, Justin Gaethje. And this time around, for his fight against Rafael Fiziev, he said that obviously he's not looking to go to the decision. So this time around, Fiziev does not plan on letting that go to the judges' scorecard, and neither does Justin Gaethje. So if both guys are looking for a finish, what I'm worried about is Justin Gaethje, because as we saw in the Max Holloway fight, obviously taking it into consideration in the last round, they were both extremely tired. It seemed to me that Justin Gaethje was the more tired one of the two. Obviously, this fight being a 5-round co-main event, I think that we're going to see another version of Justin Gaethje again, getting probably a bit tired towards the end of the fight. And as I was saying, I get a bit worried about Justin Gaethje because when he gets really tired, I think Fiziev could catch him. Honestly, if they're both looking to KO each other, this could go either way, but it's going to be violent, and I hope that this will live up to the expectation of the fans and also replace the Dan Hooker fight with something probably just as exciting. So I'm going to predict, and this is coming from a Justin Gaethje fan, I'm going to predict a third or fourth round KO from Fiziev. And I don't like saying that, but I think honestly, age is getting to Justin Gaethje. He might still be very much in tip-top shape. According to his coach, he's looking great. We were 2 days away from the fight. He's gone into that fight mode that his coach said he loves to see Justin get into, where he's laser focused and he's really in the zone. So I just love to hear that. Just as a fan, it's just great to hear. But I honestly think that Fiziev will get the win by third or fourth round KO, and that's coming from someone who is coming in short notice. Fiziev, a week and a half ago, he didn't know he was fighting, but he's been so hungry. His coaches were saying he just can't wait to get in the octagon. So I'm not basing that off of just what his coaches are saying, but I think honestly that Fiziev has what it takes to KO Justin Gaethje. But on the other hand, of course, Justin Gaethje is the current third ranked lightweight contender in the UFC roster, and Fiziev is number 11. So there's a reason that Fiziev isn't in the top 5. So am I getting that wrong? Am I predicting that Justin will lose when he just levels above Fiziev? Maybe. I hope so. But my prediction would be that Fiziev gets the win in the third or the fourth round. But I hope not. I hope not. And obviously, last but not least, let's move on to the main event of the evening. Magomed Ankalaev versus the one and only Poatan Alex Pereira. Honestly, I could not wait for this fight. And for those of whom were saying Alex is ducking Ankalaev, Alex is ducking him. Just after his last win against Khalil Rountree, he asked Dana White if he could straight away in the next 2 or 3 months fight Ankalaev, because he was sick and tired of hearing people saying he was ducking him, but Ankalaev wasn't available at the time. So we need to stop saying he was ducking Ankalaev. He wanted that fight. He wanted to prove he was capable of beating a pure Russian Dagestani grappler. And I hope that this weekend he'll be able to prove that. And my prediction for this fight would be Alex Pereira by KO in the third or fourth round. Honestly, I don't see Ankalaev being better than Pereira. You just have to look at their records. Honestly, guys, Alex Pereira is obviously getting better and better every fight, which doesn't mean that Ankalaev isn't getting better either. I don't think that we're talking about someone who is strong enough, who is good enough, who is technically skilled enough to beat Alex Pereira. Ankalaev reminds me of a highly skilled striker and a highly skilled grappler that is more suited to the heavyweight division than the light heavyweight division, honestly. But his fighting style will not allow him to win this fight. I just don't believe that would happen. I think what will happen with this fight is Ankalaev will shoot for the takedown. He said it himself. I'm going for the takedown. I'm not going to do the whole Khalil Roundtree. No. I'm going to stick to striking. No, he's going to stick to his fighting style, which is taking people down. But is he going to be able to take Alex down? That's the question. Alex's grappling and Alex's jiu-jitsu is getting better and better. He's already a jiu-jitsu black belt. We just obviously forget because he's a full-on striker and he's coming from kickboxing in the start of his career. But that does not mean that in his Brazilian blood, he's not able to get that grappling and that Brazilian jiu-jitsu to come out and beat an Ankalaev. I'm going to look at the odds live currently. Ankalaev and Alex Pereira. It's almost 50-50, but Alex is the favorite by not that much, but both do not pay very well if you bet on either one of them. So the betting odds are saying this fight could go either way, and I honestly think there's no way this fight could go either way. I might be wrong, and I'll eat my words next week. You'll hear me sobbing on the podcast next week if Alex Pereira gets knocked out or Alex Pereira gets choked out, no less. But I just don't see it happening, guys. I really don't. So I'm predicting, as I said, Alex Pereira by KO in the third or fourth. And Ankalaev, unfortunately, I don't think he's got what it takes to beat Alex Pereira just yet. So let's just see how this will happen, how this will go, how this will play out. In any way, I'm very excited for UFC 313 live in Vegas from the T-Mobile Arena on Saturday night. I'll be tuning in. I could not wait to see the main card, guys. I could not wait for this whole card. It's going to be really exciting. UFC 313 on Saturday. Give me your thoughts in the comment section down below. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. My socials are below. Who do you think is getting that UFC light heavyweight championship belt this weekend? Is Ankalaev going to upset all the UFC fans to take that belt from Alex, or is Alex going to prove that he is the number one pound for pound fighter in the world right now? And I think that's what's going to happen. But, what are your guys' thoughts? Thank you so much for listening. And have a great weekend and great fight week. Bye.